You step into Zelith Prospire's tidy office. The Inquisitive calls out to you. Step inside, quickly. There are eyes everywhere. Zelith pulls a switch and nods toward the back of the building. You hear the scrape of stone on stone as the concealed back door slides open. You walk out into the streets of Cogsgate. Towers loom high above, so tall they block out the night sky. Anyone who knows what's good for them will stay indoors tonight. A rain of blood has fallen here, and it's up to you to mop up the mess. Despite the slurred words, you've learned more about the Dask-Boromor rivalry from the poor man. You wonder what the other residents of the neighborhood might have to say. The doors to the gambling hall are wide open and its chairs are empty, though the nearby tables are still covered with food and drink. Looks like the customers left in a hurry. A chest full of coins was left here locked and untouched. This was no robbery. You can tell that there's more to this than meets the eye. You find a crossbow bolt still lodged in the victim's side. You also notice several gashes on her palm. The incriminating information in this ledger would fetch a pretty price on the black market. You wonder why the murderer would leave it behind. Searching the gambling hall raised more questions about the murders than answers. As you turn to leave, you hear figures clamoring outside the building. You strike down the last of this group of Dask thugs and check to make sure there are no more nearby. Now to leave the way you came. You push open the door to the apartment. The surprisingly well-decorated rooms show signs of a struggle. Your stomach clenches in anticipation as you near the crime scene. After examining the corpse, you can see that he was killed by a poisoned crossbow bolt. His last gambling ticket lies just out of reach. Felon had just won big, cleaning up on a match in an underground fighting ring down in the Cogs. Felon must have spent his recent winnings digging himself out of debt. Imagine meeting your end right after getting yourself clear. At least he died in the black. Despite clear attempts to make this look like a break-in, all of Felon's valuables are still in their proper places. As you mull this over, you hear voices from the direction of the front door. You manage to make it past the Dask thugs blocking your way. The Dask thugs let you pass, thanks to your quick tongue and winning personality. You've learned all you can about these first two crimes. You head back to the Wolf Gate, where Zeleth awaits your results. Zeleth unlocks the gate, revealing a small lane that burrows deeper into the heart of Cog's Gate. The door to the pawn shop is unlocked, just as with the other crime scenes. Inside, the shopkeeper's body lies forgotten alongside all the other cast-offs in her shop. A closer look at the keg reveals a hidden compartment filled with smuggled goods. Some small packages lie in the cauldron. No doubt they were hidden there so they could be fenced on the black market later. A different body, but the same song. A crossbow bolt dipped in poison, and a palm covered in slashes. Yet this time a new detail catches your eye. A shattered pen bearing Font Arcanotechnic symbol. The murderer could have emptied the pawn shop, and yet only Mord's life was taken. Armed with your findings, you wonder, what connects all these gruesome crimes? the last of the heavily armed halfling thugs falls. Another alley stretches before you. The more you learn about the victims, the more questions you have. You can only hope that Zulkus Crowspire holds the answers you've been seeking. A tiefling stands before you, with a face you remember from your recent adventures. Despite your own shock at meeting him again, you hope that Zulkus is willing to answer your questions about the murders. Zulkus steps through a dimension door, his face glowing with the smug triumph of a man who thinks he's won, though you're too busy dealing with his troll bodyguard to notice. The troll topples, yet another casualty of this bloody night. Now, to meet up with Zelith. Zelith shakes her head, the weight of her brother's betrayal settling over her like the dirt that falls on the streets from above. But you've got a job to finish. Another crime scene waits for you in an alley to the south. The secret door slides open, revealing a Medusa. Oddly enough, she doesn't seem surprised to see you. Instead, she motions for you to enter. Lestra suggests that you help the Dask oppose the Boromar clan, since the Boromar have made an alliance with Vaunt. More slashes on the palm, and this time you see the pattern. You wonder how you could have missed such an important clue. The slashes were literally the killer's signature. Whoever did this wasn't shy about letting people know. You stoop down to search the contents of Nehrim's pack. Looks like he was fleeing for his life when the murderer got to him. You find a security ledger embossed with Vaunt Arcanotechnic symbol. A quick glance reveals that every victim had worked for Vaunt. It's too big of a coincidence to overlook, especially since a note in the margin talked about cleaning up loose ends. That ledger told you what you needed to know. The victims all worked for Vaunt and were killed because they knew too much about his operations down in the cogs. You strike down the last of the attackers. You can't let these petty thugs hold you back, not when you're so close to the truth. You catch up with Zelith and fill her in on the clues you found so far. She points you towards an alleyway northwest of where the goblin was last seen. Talking to the residents has given you more insight into life in Cogsgate. A familiar voice echoes from behind this door.
What part of make it look like an accident didn't you understand? And leaving your signature behind was beyond stupid. Now Zelith is onto us. It's only a matter of time before she and those adventurers come barging in here.
Breathe a sigh of relief as the goblin falls. You've sent the murderer to his just reward. But as you turn to confront Zolkis, the goblin suddenly rises. Zolkis quickly casts a dimension door. The tiefling and the goblin disappear through it. Zelith shakes her head. Sometimes it's a stranger who holds the knife. Sometimes it's family. I let blood cloud my judgment, and I'll pay for that every day. But I'll keep going. I'll move on to the next crime and the next. You can't just stay inside when trouble rains down. Not even if it never stops.